From fullback, Rob Robards, the three quarters of Michael Moss, Cole Bentley, Mark Bevan, David Green, the halves of Greg Clements and Doug Delaney, and the forwards, Colin Vandervoort, Chris Houghton, John Cartwright, Paul Ackery, the hooker and captain, Roy Simmons, and in 13, Joe Vertanza. And even allowing for the fact that there is no Greg Alexander in this Penrith lineup, I'm pretty sure that they're keen to repeat the efforts of the weekend of Illawarra and St George and say farewell to their own coach, Tim Sheens, on a winning note. But their hurdle is in the shape of Parramatta, and let's go to the Eels and check that lineup with David Fordham.
Thank you, Graham. And the Parramatta side looks like this. At fullback is Brett Scott, the three quarters of Jeff Pearl, Michael Erickson, Brett Kenny and Tony Chalmers, the halves of Mark Laurie and Peter Sterling, who will captain the side, and the pack of Peter Ford, Peter Wynn, Graham Setry, Stan Jerd, Michael Mosley, and wearing number 52 in the front row is Don Price. Well, the pride of Parramatta is certainly at stake in this final game of the 1987 season, and also the Penrith side will be under the careful eye of the man that will guide their destiny next year, Ron Willey. Ron, of course, will join us as special sidelines comments man when we return on the other side of this break for a look at Monday Night Football, the final game of the 1987 season.
Both sides are on the paddock now for this game that means absolutely nothing in terms of competition points or status, but it also is for prestige to go out at a winning note. The referee, by the way, is Mr. Bill Harrigan. Mr. Tim Sheens, the coach of the Penrith side, led his team out onto the field and then applauded them as they ran out to the middle. And we are going to have, there's Tim Sheens, he'll be coaching the Canberra Raiders next year. We are going to have 1 minute silence now for a most unfortunate tragic occurrence. Darryl Broman, who's a member of the Penrith club, son, who I believe was 7 years of age, passed away this week and was buried. It's very, very sad, a tragic occurrence.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. The game will be contested very, very competitively, I feel sure. Both sides want to go out on a winning note. They've also got winning money to play for. They've got prestige to play for, and they are first-grade footballers. And over in the background, the fireworks go off, and Channel 10 sign. And some very loud bangers just went off there. Gee, they shook the stand. Parramatta running into the breeze, and David, let's get it set. The breeze is coming from right to left.
Out as well, Rex, and the westerly is coming right off the mountains. It's very, very cold. I've been joined on the touchline here by Ron Willey. Ron, you came armed with the second pair of warm socks. You're coming to coach Penrith next year. You know what it's all about out here.
I came with a tracksuit too, Dave. Unfortunately, it was Parramatta, so I didn't have the height to wear it.
All right, now, there's a couple of interesting players out there tonight. There's one, for a start, playing with the Penrith side, Michael Moss, who is a wing three-quarter, playing on the right wing, who's playing his first-grade game. He's had 4 runs. This is a great run. And the other interesting player is Jeff Pearl, who was signed by Parramatta from the Parramatta Rugby Union side and makes his first-grade appearance. He'll be playing on the wing for Parramatta in number 2. There's some pretty solid defence going on there in the moment. And now there's a brawl starting. Touch judge in, referees in. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. Peter Sterling's right in the middle of that. I don't think there was a blow thrown in anger. I may be wrong. I think it developed down to a great big wrestle.
Well, Greg Clements is the man involved here in the play of the ball. A similar start to yesterday with the Balmain-Manly clash. Repeated here tonight under the lights at Penrith Park. And action, not rugby league action, but plenty of action right in the opening minutes.
Well, the referee's going to have a talk to several players of either side. Yes, we'll get the lower grade results out of the way because they're a little bit more urgent than this was. We've got the under-23s, Parramatta 20, Penrith 10. And Penrith got up over Parramatta 16-14 in reserve grade. Now, Mr. Harrigan is a policeman. He's in the tactical response group. I think one of them's been given,
John Cartwright
has been given 10 minutes in the sin bin. So that puts Penrith at a distinct disadvantage in the early part of this game. He obviously saw something. Sterling finds touch, not a bad touch. Mosley running from the tap restart, gets to the halfway line. Moving it out there to Laurie, who's playing in the unaccustomed position of 5'8". Well, he has played there occasionally, but it's not a usual position for him. Peter Wynn playing in number 13. About 3 metres from the halfway line. That was much too hard, that pass, and it run too close to the man. It was very ill-advised to pass it there. Simmons onto Ackery. Ackery ploughs forward for 4 or 5 metres. Simmons, Cartwright stands, gets the ball away. Simmons, Delaney runs to Sterling. Sterling wraps him up in a tackle. Simmons, Robards finds a hole right through the middle of the Parramatta line. Goes up to the quarter. Simmons out to Horton, back to Royce Simmons. He's in everything at the moment. He's found a gap going through it. But a pass away there. That was Delaney on the end of that. Clements goes to the grubber kick. Goes into the in-goal area. The referee judges that ball to have been knocked forward in the in-goal area.
So the kick was well weighted and a perfect bounce. He couldn't control it, Brett Scott, and ruling that, well, in fact, quite correctly, that Mark Bevan's the man that couldn't control that football, and a good decision by Bill Harrigan.
Bill Harrigan's a referee that's come under some criticism this year. He's very, very strict in his rulings, which is to be applauded. But he's come under the hammer from certain coaches. Wynn trying to reef his way up the blind side there. Mosley, Sterling, out to Laurie. Laurie's wrapped up straight away. Good tackle by Van der Voort there. Mosley knocks on. Van der Voort's a player that I'm interested in as a lock forward. He's showing good form for the Penrith club. I believe they've been able to keep him. He was under offer, and he's packing in the second row at the moment because they're down a player. Although they were pushed back, they still won it. Delaney, Clements, Robards chiming in there. He's very much a runner. Green's a winger that was in very good form last year. Simmons, Batanza. Driven back over the legs of the player that had tackled him low. Gets up, plays it forward. About 15 metres out from the Parramatta line. Delaney trying to dart his way around the defence. Simmons, Clements, a long cut-out pass has gone out to Moss, and the referee has ruled it forward. I think he was right.
Well, danger in these sort of conditions. A very strong breeze there, and that ball drifting forward with that breeze at their backs. Problems in the handling departments on the breeze tonight.
Parramatta come up with a scrum win. Laurie just beyond the advantage line. There's Price, not a Setri, making a few metres just outside the quarter, about 7 metres. Win. That high knee action of his. Well, there was a little knock on, badly played by Stan Jerd. He pushed the ball beneath his feet. See it again, you'll see that Mosley really had no alternative there but to knock the ball on.
There's already been some sloppy work around the rucks by Parramatta, some drop balls, not really sure and knowing who's going to get that ball first up when the forwards are hitting away. They've been trying to set their sides, and more problems this time for Penrith, but Parramatta have been trying to stack somewhat if they can their reserve grade side and the under-23s that are involved still in the semi-finals. So Penrith, I think that's where their advantage lies tonight in the back rowers. They have a better running pack of forwards, so look for big games from Van der Voort, Houghton and John Cartwright when he gets the opportunity to come back on the field.
Sterling feeds that, and again it's a Penrith ball. Delaney sprints around, picks the ball up on the Parramatta side of the scrum, came away with a 15-yard scurry onto Horton. Simmons, Delaney, Clements, Ackery's trying to go straight ahead. Simmons, Batanza. Mark Bevan was on the end of that one. Last tackle coming up now. They've got the option of the grubber or the bomb. As the grubber kick, they're going to put into the in-goal area. It'll be a bit too hard and go over the touch-in-goal line, so play will restart from the quarter.
It's a fairly impressive start by Penrith, although they've enjoyed all the ball in the opening 9 minutes. And Ron, do you agree that I think the Penrith has a better balanced pack going into this game?
Their pack does look fairly lively, Graham. They've got the advantage of this slight breeze at the moment, and I think they'll probably need a few points. At the moment, only having 12 men on the field, it's their forward work's not what it will be later on when the play comes back on, but they seem to be pretty smooth tonight.
Oh, there's a strong bit of defence, and it was legitimate according to the referee. Horton's the man that pulled it off.
This was a solid hit. Ron really talking about smooth. Well, there's crunch from Chris Houghton. That is a super hit. Quite legitimate. And Michael Mosley, the man in plenty of trouble.
Well, Michael Mosley has been running diagonally from dummy half on 2 or 3 occasions tonight, and it hasn't come off. And now he's been laid right out. Sterling. Oh, there's a pass gone badly astray because the player there came too close to him. Peter Ford came right up inside, only about a half a metre away. Michael Mosley must be made of granite after that. He's got quickly to his feet and he's taking part in this scrum. Well, that's another scrum, but not to referee Harrigan's satisfaction. Now the penalty goes to Penrith. And Mosley was obviously down underneath all of that and must have had a loose arm. Still no score in the game. And there's a good kick. About 10 metres outside the quarter. Simmons quickly onto Ackery. A matter of urgency. I think they realise, Ron, that what you've said, that they need points with this breeze they've got at their back. I doubt whether it's a light breeze. I thought it was more like a gale.
It's pretty strong down here at the moment on the sideline, Rex, and it seems to be getting up a little bit.
Delaney ducks and gets pummeled to the ground about a metre inside the quarter. Van der Voort, Simmons, Batanza. Always good for a straighten, this fella. He's back. They come on the blind side. Ackery, Van der Voort. He had Horton coming very close to him there, but Setri took him out of the play. Well, that seems a rather harsh penalty. I don't know, but have a look at it again. See, you be the judge. cost them 2 points. Setri was there, the man of the Parramatta side that was penalised. Had his hand down in between the arm and the ball of the Van der Voort, the Penrith player, and in extracting his hand from that situation, the ball came out. Mark Bevan, 2 metres outside the quarter. Oh, that just shaved the right hand upright. Still no score in this match here with Penrith naught, Parramatta naught. Well, back with the action. It's the last tackle. The bomb's been put up. Penrith are under pressure here at the moment, but he's taken it and is searching for the line, and it's going to be a handover. Noel Horton's back on the field. He came on during that last surge by Penrith. Now, Parramatta got the dubious pleasure of having to work the ball away from their line here, running into a very, very strong breeze. Don Price comes away with a bit of a gain. About 7 metres. Wynn spins in a tackle, gets the pass away to Mosley. Mosley's out there to Laurie, but he's driven to the ground near the sideline and the quarter. Setri comes straight ahead. Sterling kicks downfield. This could be a good kick. It will be. He's kept them underneath the wind, so to speak, kicked very low and made a gain of about 40 metres. Yes, John Crouchy, you've got some information on the footy tab.
Yes, I have, Rex. There's still a lot of interest in this match, and there's $30,000 in the pick the result dividend pool. There's 2/3 of the entries have gone for Parramatta to win, the popular score being Penrith 12, Parramatta 18.
Okay, thanks, John, for that. Well, Penrith come up with that very messy scrum there. On a Robards who steams forward a few metres. Simmons. Cartwright had the ball jolted out of him in that tackle, and Parramatta have come up with it. Sterling gets it away there beautifully to Jerd, and Jerd goes very strongly up to the 10-yard line. Now Parramatta have got their backs line very, very deep. The long cutout pass has been dropped. And there's going to be a penalty. Obviously he was playing the advantage. There's going to be a penalty against Penrith now for an infringement in the ruck. He was playing the advantage for Parramatta to do something. Jeff Pearl's going to have his first kick in first grade for this Parramatta side. He has been a very consistent and noted goal kicker in rugby. We shall see how he comes up in rugby league. Yes, I've got little ability in assessing a crowd up here. Ron, what would you reckon it is, the crowd here?
I've got about the same idea as you have, Rex.
Well, you're going to have to get an idea soon because you're going to be responsible for bums on seats, aren't you?
Okay, I'll take a punt and say 10,000. How's that?
That'll do, yes, okay. Pearl. Well, he's hooked it. So the score remains 0-0 here at Penrith Park. Now back they come to the quarter. That must have been considered a reasonably simple kick. That ball's gone forward off the hands of the Parramatta player, Wynn. Possession's being contested there, but Delaney fell on it for Penrith. Cartwright on the move. 4 metres from halfway. Onto Ackrey. Sets him for a 5-metre run. He gets beyond the halfway line. Simmons, that was beautifully taken by Clements down low. He's kicked and it's been taken very nicely there by Mosley, who fell on it, got to his feet again. Pearl at dummy half, Sterling. Ericsson. Mosley. Wynn. Oh, a wild one-handed pass behind him there, but it's gone to Is it Laurie? Around about the half, well, just around about midway between the quarter and the halfway. Sterling. Laurie, good pass back on the inside there to Setri. Setri gets it away. And they've got this Penrith side on the back move at the moment. And here they come up the blind side. Sterling, cut out pass out to Wynn. Wynn tries to get himself a few metres through the ruck, can't do it. Gets to his feet. Jerd. Sterling in a kick downfield. He's got a clever kick, this fella. He realised that he's got this ground assessed like he's got Penrith Park assessed, and kicking into that strong breeze, the ball went into the in goal and stayed there. Very cluey kick. Good defence there. Stan Jerd, the man at the end of the tackle. Simmons showing his versatility, but a little bit excitable on that occasion. It went out by a metre or two. Parramatta ball, Sterling, Laurie. Chalmers comes in from the blindside wing. They're going up the blind again. Kenny. Well, he's been upended and dumped. Well, he should have been penalised for walking off the mark then. He went for a wander for 3 metres. Setri's on the charge. The ball's gone out to Kenny. Kenny's tackled only about 4 metres out from the line. Good pass there to Jerd. Jerd throws it straight back to Penrith. Bevan comes away with a run that relieves the pressure momentarily. Batanza. That's the nearest thing that Parramatta have had to a try. Simmons. Clements, the high towering kick downfield. It's going to find touch by Evans. That's a great kick. That's all of 50 metres gain, 55 from Clements. Finding a very, very good touch indeed. 10 metres beyond the halfway line. It's a Sterling ball. Fed it to Laurie, but there was nowhere to go close to the ruck there. Price stood on a tackle, got a pass away nicely. Scott. Upended by Cartwright. Wynn. Setri. Still no score in the match. Breeze apparently dying down a little bit. The flag directly opposite me here is not standing out proud as it was earlier. Sterling. Cut out pass to Laurie. Comes back on the inside. Gets it away to Sterling. He's trying to wire one. Got it back to Price. Price evades one tackle. Gets it away there to Scott. Scott goes steaming upfield. Gets it to Kenny. Kenny gets a pass over to Chalmers. Chalmers goes up the field and is tackled about 4 metres short of the quarter line. Sterling. Well, that kick's going to go out. That wasn't judged at all. The stab kick along the ground didn't bring success. It went over the dead ball line. The score remains Penrith 0, Parramatta 0. And we're back live here, just having seen a try scored. We'll see that on the replay and you can judge yourself.
Excellent kick, this one from Michael Mosley. He judges it perfectly for his winger, Chalmers. Bill Harrigan, the referee, well placed inside, and the race for the ball. Doug Delaney hasn't got the pace, and forced down there with the forearm of the winger. Marvellous play there by Tony Chalmers, and there's a kick we've seen them testing this little chip kick, both Sterling and now this time Michael Mosley, and great pace down there by Tony Chalmers to come up with that try for Parramatta.
22 years of age. Has been developing very well. Was going well in the first round, Tony Chalmers, then got an injury, a bad one, during a game that we televised. I was out. He's just regaining his confidence again in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Interesting that Doug Delaney was the man, the halfback, that was dropping back there in covering that situation. Rob Robards had been injured and was up in the front line, so Delaney dropping back to try and cover.
Here's Pearl again. Gets the ball high in the air. It's just short. And no points result from that. So the score now, Parramatta 4, Penrith 0. I noticed the pace of Harrigan, the referee, Mr. Harrigan. He set himself to sprint with him, and he stayed exactly with him. Of course, he's not getting knocked over every few seconds, but he is a very fast referee, one of the fittest men around, and he generally manages to keep right beside the play. Don Price, quite a good footballer on his own right. Laurie. Mosley on a win threatening to make a break, certainly coming with tons of enthusiasm and gusto. On the Ford's going strongly off a Mosley pass, changed direction, gave it back on the inside. Win, Sterling, Laurie, Kenny. He was just getting his arm free there. He had Scott on the outside of him. Sterling kicked ahead. Oh dear, oh dear. The less said about that, the better. Seemed to take his eye off the ball.
All the mistakes are certainly starting to come for Penrith. They're playing and putting themselves under a lot of pressure. There was no one around him there when he put that ball down, but only 14 minutes left on the clock in this first half. The use of the breeze, they had the greatest share of possession in the first 10-15 minutes especially. They just haven't come up with any points.
Well, Laurie's doing his best to rectify that situation now. Here's Sterling. Kenny, nice pass out there to Ericsson. He's tackled well there by Bevan. Pearl runs from dummy half, makes a gain to the quarter. Here they come up the blind side. Stan Jerd's going for a surge and gets through a bad bit of defence there by Bevan. Sterling, a little rubber kick, 6 to go. Now Parramatta have got plenty of players on the move right now. Sterling, long cut-out pass, beautifully taken, given out to theirs. He'll try out there in the wing to Chalmers, I think. No! He's been decked only about half a metre short. Well, I thought he put that between his legs, but we'll come back to it. I think Wynn has been... yes, Graham, Peter Wynn's been held up only metres short, and he's tried to go for the double movement, I believe, and been penalised.
So it was Nelly Peter Sterling with 2 balls here, setting up try-scoring opportunities for Parramatta. Just short of the line, Bill Harrigan calling on him to play the ball, and Peter Wynn just very quickly trying to gain that advantage of the extra half yard. So he was the man that came up with the mistake.
The penalty has been taken. Now the tap restart. Horton comes out to the quarter line. His Vitanza up the middle. And they drive him backwards to the quarter. Simmons. Oh, beautiful pass there from Horton. On a Robards back inside to Green. Green gets it away there to Horton again. And he's tackled by Mosley. Out they go on the right-hand side. The pass has been put down by Clements. And now they stood around and looked at that, the 2 Penrith players. One dropped it, and the other one made no move to it. And a Parramatta player came up and fell on it. That's absurd. Right on the halfway line. Don Price. Back inside to Ford. I detect this Parramatta side are starting to get slightly on top of the forwards, making easy yardage from ruck, from the dummy half and round the ruck. Do you get the same impression, Ron Willie?
Yes, Rex. Parramatta seem to be running forward. The Panther forwards aren't getting up and meeting at the advantage line. They've got to do that, or particularly in the second half, they'll be in heaps of trouble.
Well, that's all your problem, mate.
Not tonight, it isn't.
Setri runs, gets to the quarter. Sterling, Scott, Back inside to Stan Jerd. He's like a spring chicken tonight, running very strongly. Scott. Out there to Ford. Ford backing his way towards the opponent's goal line. Has the ball stolen from him by Delaney. He's getting through a power of work. Van der Voort tries to go straight, but he got put away. Green runs well from dummy half. Gets out to within 3 metres of the quarter line. Simmons. Joe Vitanza up the middle of the ruck. And an effective 3 tackles they've had. Clements gets a mighty boot to it and kicks it downfield. Oh, what an awful bounce. It broke it sideways. Chalmers has taken it though and come back well. 10 metres from the halfway line. Sterling. Oh, the pass along the ground out to Pearl. Pearl trying to clear himself and get into an area where he could run. The defence was all over him. Sterling. Ford's very slowly to his feet. Scott, the fullback, who's been playing 5'8" and keeping Kenny in the centres. Sterling. Lovely hands there from Lowry. Out there to Ericsson. Ericsson's got a clean pair of heels. He's going beautifully up the sideline. He should go close. Oh, he's been put in a touch by Robards and Delaney. Great defence. Perfect cover. See it again.
Excellent break by Parramatta. I thought Michael Ericsson, though, could have come back inside. He had support over towards the inside. He could have thought of either taking a chip situation or trying to set up those supports. He tried to take on Robards, but it was a copybook tackle.
Clements fired it to Robards, who was standing as a sort of an inside centre then. Clements again out to Bevan. Bevan running again. Chris Horton came as support and banged straight into a Parramatta player and knocked him out of the way. Simmons kicking again. It looks like it might be a very good kick. It is. It's going to go within 3 metres of the corner post. Gee whiz, that's 65 yards, that kick.
Great kick from Royce Simmons, something that Parramatta will be doing right throughout the second half. Peter Sterling will ensure that the game's played in the 22 of the Penrith Panthers. And Royce Simmons now the opportunity. They just have to put points on the board.
Well, they're going to scrum in the 10-yard area for this Parramatta side. I think he's come up with it too. That was Delaney came up with it, so that's a scrum win against the feed. It's about on cue for the crowd to start yelling, keep him back. Simmons, Delaney, Clements. There's plenty of defence there up the middle. Cartwright was the end of that. Horton. And unfortunately, young Michael Moss, playing his first grade game, couldn't handle that one, but he dropped it behind him. There's the grubber kick. And too hard. So it's 4-0, still the score in this very strong game between Parramatta and Penrith. Back just in time to see Penrith win a scrum on the halfway. Bevan's run across, showing the ball like a Statue of Liberty play, but not giving it to anyone. And finally, he ran out of places to go, and the defence knocked him over, having run back about 5 metres. Simmons, Ackery. Good pass there. Oh, very well done. Robards to come on the burst like that. Simmons. Batanza long cut out pass to Green. Green's in the clear up the sideline. Steps back inside from the sideline and is tackled about 15 metres out. They've got a chance now. Moving it out to Clements. Clements to Bevan. Bevan to Clements. Out to Moss again. Couldn't handle that. The pass was not perfect, but unfortunately they're there to be taken.
these sort of situations, just putting more pressure on Penrith in that all-important second half, because that advantage of the breeze will turn around with Parramatta. They've got to shorten those passes up. It's twice now they've put pressure on Michael Moss out on that right wing. The passes just too long in the breeze.
And there's a penalty going to Parramatta. Let's see what the signal says. Collapsing, going down in the front row. There's the scrum statistics, 7-4 to Penrith. The penalties 4-3 to Parramatta. Mosley sets up the play. Oh, he got a bit of a knee in the face there accidentally from Ackery, I think, but anyway, we'll play on. Ford finished up with that ball, but he's not going anywhere. No, it was Kenny. Chalmers has lost it. If they moved it wide now to the right, Penrith, it would be on. It's closed now. Simmons, Ackery. It was just a moment when there was nobody at home for Parramatta. About 3.5 minutes to half-time. There's a towering kick being put downfield, but it's broken, unfortunately, for Penrith back midfield, and now goes over the dead ball line. Play will restart from the quarter. I think Parramatta will be pretty keen to get in there at half-time and refresh themselves and come out with the wind at their back. What do you think, Ron Willie?
I think Peter Sterling will drive Penrith mad in the second half, Rex, with this breeze. It's something that suits his game down to the ground. I don't think they'll be playing too much football up round about in their own 25. Penrith, they'll put a little bit of stuff together in the last 10 minutes. They've got their forwards going a bit better, and a bit of the plays developed from that.
Mosley, Sterling, beautifully to Setri, right into the clear, gets it away to Scott. Scott goes forward, runs out of support. Sterling backed him up finally, but the tackle from Bevan put him away. Here's Sterling, the grubber kick, or a low trajectory punt which goes over the sideline, only about 8 metres out. He's really worked out this breeze. He knows that if he drives them very low and firm when he's kicking for touch, he can keep it underneath the wind. And he's making quite a lot of yardage for the Parramatta team. Well, that's out. Delaney's got it. He's sprinting away. Comes down the open side. Setri put him away. Cole Bentley having a run there. Van der Voort takes over for a sprint. They're coming out towards the quarter. There's a good run from Royce Simmons. Van der Voort, Clements, the kick downfield. There's a chaser coming through. It's Robards. The pass goes back inside to Kenny. About 1 minute and 4 seconds to go to the half-time break. Sterling, Jerd, back to Sterling on the runaround. Ackery's claiming he lost the ball, but yes, he has too, by heavens. Royce Simmons has stolen from him. Well, they better do something pretty rapidly. Delaney kicks ahead. This will be wrapped up by Parramatta. Michael Erickson was able to get down on his hands and knees and get to it. Pearl runs from dummy half and comes back to the quarter. Stan Jerd being corralled there. starts. 3, 2, 1. As Don Price gets it from dummy half, runs a few metres, collapses, and that's the end of the section for the first half. A very interesting game, fought out very competitively by these two sides. The only try coming to Chalmers after a great kick from Michael Mosley. It's snowing at Orange, and Orange, as the crow flies, isn't all that far from here, but there come the Parramatta side right now. No changes on either side, David?
No, let's say left the field at half-time. There was a little bit of a problem. I kept looking at Rob Robards carrying that left arm in the first half. I just spoke to him in the tunnel. He's corked the top part of his arm, but he's okay to take his place as fullback in the Penrith side in the second half. But the breeze has picked up, Ron, I think you'd agree. It's blowing and it's very, very cold out here, Rick.
Yeah, it is, David. It's picked up quite a lot. You can see from the flags on the other side of the ground. Young Robards has played very well in the first half, I thought. He'll get plenty of work to do in this half.
Well, I admire the Penrith supporters who've come here tonight to watch in these icy conditions. The crowd has thinned out a little bit. There's still plenty of them here. They've watched the side do fairly well without being able to get any points on the board. Parramatta are leading by 4 points to 0, and they're in possession at the moment. Laurie at the 5'8" roll is... we just had a blackout here. But... well, the referee Harrigan has penalised the Penrith side for failure to get away from the tackle player there. Sterling indicates he wants to kick for touch. 10 yards inside his own half. He comes up with a gain of about 15 metres. That's not a bad kick from a very small angle. Under Sterling. Well, that move actually fooled a few of the Penrith defenders, and Sentry was able to go through the middle of the ruck. Jerd's tearing his way forward. He gets his headgear torn off. That's an offence. Laurie looked to turn ball back on the inside, but it was knocked on both ways. The scrum, the first of the second half, will go down midway between the quarter and the halfway line. It's come screaming out the back of the Penrith scrum. Delaney's gone back for it. Yes, I've just been informed by my director we've had a little bit of a power failure in the box here, but there's more storm on the way. So we'll be driving very carefully back along the freeway. Anyway, on to Penrith trying to break this defence, and Vitans has just come up with another knock-on. Young Moss, the wing three-quarter that I was talking about in the first half, who's playing his first grade game, is right on our side of the field here. We'll have a good look at him. Well, Kenny's got himself into the clear and he's going beautifully. He's got up through the quarter, gets a pass out there to number 2, Jeff Pearl, and Pearl's in for the try. I suggest that's his first try in first grade, and he'll be a very, very pleased boy.
So problems for Parramatta right throughout 1987, but Brett Kenny finding a little bit of form right here. A great break by the man. Some people have been very quick to write him off, saying that this season, well, I'm not about to write off a champion, and he showed all the qualities here, the swerve, the step, and a great ball, great long ball out there to Jeff Pearl was judged, because this breed really has picked up. I noticed Sterling trying to give some orders out in the back line to shorten their passes up only a moment or so ago. But see all the qualities, as I say, of a champion. He just read that gap. He read that the gap was back on the inside, and the body swerve, the great swerve of Kenny, taking him away from the cover defence, settling himself there for the pass out to Jeff Pearl. Perfectly placed, and a great try and a great way for Parramatta to start this second half. Peter Sterling really should be the one now to take full control.
Well, now Jeff Pearl will get the opportunity to convert his own try. He's 25 years of age. And this is 5 metres outside the quarter, and very nearly on the sideline. And he moves in. He's kicked it. By heavens, Simmons, that's an incredible goal from there, let me tell you. And the score hastens on. Parramatta 10, Penrith 0. Bit of bad luck there for Penrith. Sterling tried to do a clearing kick from back near his quarter. The ball was charged down and only just was able to be cleaned up by Scott, the fullback, who got there just in front of John Cartwright. So a little bit of bad luck for Penrith. Parramatta now back towards the halfway line. Mosley on the surge has made a good game. About 15 metres he went through the middle of the ruck. Sterling. Forward. It's it back to Don Price, who wheels it away to win. And then referee Harrigan has seen another knock on. I guess their hands are so frozen that they can't really pick the football up.
And that charge down kick by John Cartwright, the attempt there was certainly the tactics that they've got to come up with. We've got to keep on putting pressure on Peter Sterling. He's the man that will really run the show in the second half with the guard at his back. So in that marker defence area, they've just got to put pressure on him, try and force another kicker into the game, keep that ball away from Sterling.
Green, let's see how they go running into the wind with their backs passing into a situation when they're running forward into a breeze that's often easier to pass. Well, not like that, Delaney. That was an absurd pass to throw. It's been picked up out there by Green, and he's scurried back up 10 metres towards the halfway line. Clements tried to get that kick down there for the sideline, but it's been picked off by Scott, who's showing a clean pair of heels. Oh, that ball was a horror. The pass that was thrown was blown away from the man. Well, the Penrith side come up with a penalty out of that. Holding down the tackle player. Now look at that, the way the ball was out in front of the player there. You can put that down to the wind. It's blowing a gale up here. Simmons. Cartwright, very strong. Batanza. Chris Horton trying to punch a hole just off the edge of the ruck. They're going backwards at the moment, losing a lot of ground. As Vanderbilt come forward about 15 metres and straight. They're trying to position the ball. That should be something now for Parramatta. They picked up the dregs of a bad pass and come away with it. They had Penrith on toast there for a moment. Mosley running off the ruck now. Setri. Sterling, that kick of his downfield. It's probably going to go dead in goal. It will. So he really kicked that from 10 metres outside his quarter. And it's gone dead in goal. So we're looking at something in the order of 80 metres, the kick. Simmons onto Ackery. Well, that pass looked forward to Batanza, but the referee's going to go with that. Vanderbilt comes at 100 miles an hour. Everything's done very, very fast. Simmons, a metre short of the halfway line. Cartwright searching for a pass back on the inside, but his arms were locked to his side. Simmons, Clements. Oh, young Moss has dropped it again. Chalmers has come up with a great run. He's going to go very close to. No, he's not. He's been knocked over the sideline. A great tackle by Robards. Put him away on the quarter. But see it again.
So that's 2 tries now for Penrith that Rod Robards has saved. Tony Chalmers showing plenty of dash down that sideline. He tried to change pace there, but another great tackle by Rod Robards.
He's going very close to being the most spectacular player on the field, Robards. He's done some incredible things. The ball stolen, but then knocked on by Penrith. The scrums went 8-4 to Penrith in the first half. The penalties went 4-3 to Parramatta. Missed tackles, Penrith 6, Parramatta 5. Handling errors, Parramatta 12. Laurie's got inside his man from that scrum. Scott's up in the back line. Back to Kenny. There's Pearl coming to the play, the right wing 3/4. I think he's had the ball belted out of his hand too. Well, what do you say? Delaney's thrown a horror of a pass a little while ago that went nearly close to going over the sideline and knocked on what appeared to be a relatively simple pass. Sterling. Forwards lost the ball on the first tackle. I guess both the coaches, Ron, would be very upset at the way their players are mishandling in this critical second half. There's another one gone.
The ground doesn't look too wet or muddy, Rick, so it's hard to understand. The only thing we can say is maybe that bruise is causing the problem.
Might be numbness of fingers too, Ronnie.
Yes, it could be. It could be the frozen fingers. I've not discounted that. There's Don Price going for a surge. He's only 3 metres out now. The Parramatta are usually pretty comfortable at this sort of thing. Oh, there's a bad pass being thrown by Sterling, of all people. But over the head of the player intended for it. Well, that's astonishing. They're usually very, very particular what they do. There's another one gone to ground. Well, I think they ought to take the braziers out now, and I underline braziers so they can all stand around and warm their fingers. Another scrum win. Sterling's gone for a sprint from the scrum base. Setri sets up some play. They're back inside the 10 metres again. Mosley on the charge, just to the right-hand side of the ruck. Setri, Sterling. Laurie drops it. It really is all happening here tonight. Just no accounting for that. Apparently had a look at the opposition coming towards him. Ball's come spewing out the base of the scrum. It's been picked up by Robards, who comes away with a spectacular gain of about 15 metres. Just about the quarter line now. Penrith having a lot of trouble getting out of their own area. That one-handed pass there of Horton's was a good one. There he is again. Van der Voort standing in the tackle right on the halfway line. Well, that pace, that occasion, it was just too much. And away he goes. And it's going to be a try to Scott. A simple try, just picked up a loose ball on the halfway line. And spin it away 50 metres to score the try. You can't do any more. He had the pace, he had the edge.
Plenty of handling mistakes by both sides in this second half. John Cartwright, the man who's just trying to keep his arms free to unload the ball, but being bounced out there on the impact of the tackle. And Brett Scott snapping that ball up, an opportunist try. Royce Simmons was the man closest to him, but he wasn't going to catch him with any pace. David Green did his best to try and make some sort of an impression, but Penrith on the occasions now, that scoreline of 10-0 at that stage prior to that try, they're just in the situation where they have to try and force the passes. John Cartwright and Chris Houghton are the men that are trying to put supports away and try and keep those arms free. But Rob Robards was also up in the attacking line, so no cover back whatsoever, making it all that much easier for Brett Scott.
Well, Scott's no chicken. He's 27 years of age. I'm not suggesting he's an old man either, but he's been around with the Parramatta side for some time. We've got a Parramatta change coming up. I think Stan Jerd's off. Who's going to go on?
Well, Graham Atkins is coming on, Rex. I'll let Pearl take this kick and then come back and tell you what the positional changes are to the Parramatta side.
OK, 3 metres outside the quarter, about 2 metres in from the sideline. Pearl with another opportunity to make the crowd go, ooh. Pearl Hicks just fails to get it. So the score remains Parramatta 14, Penrith 0. And it's been to Chalmers there. He's just gone. There was no try on, believe me. He scored a beautiful try, but you're going to see it again and hear it.
Well, Peter Sterling was a great long ball to Brett Kenny. Really, when Chalmers received this ball, just have a look, you can count them there. There's 6 Penrith players in shot there on the camera, 3 all getting in each other's way, but this was the ball that gave them a chance of laying it on from Peter Sterling. A great long pass to Kenny. Kenny likewise out to Ericsson. And, well, Ericsson gave Chalmers the ball with virtually nothing on. 3 men in front of him, and there they are, all getting in each other's way, and Tony Chalmers says, thanks very much. So Penrith really falling apart here in just a space of a couple of minutes. That just shouldn't have happened. This is appalling defence. Ron Willie is certainly the man that can tell us something about this, because he's got all the headaches to overcome it in 1988.
Till the best passes of the ball in the game then, Graham. A great pass from Sterling on to Kenny, and then a good strong run by Chalmers. As you said, I didn't think there was a try on, but he used his strength and pushed a couple of fellas off to put it down in the corner.
Pearl attempted the conversion from 3 metres outside the quarter. Had to aim well to the right. Oh, not that far. Yeah, that was a bit off. But anyway, Parramatta have come up with 2 tries in 3 minutes. Parramatta 18, Penrith 0. And back come the Penrith troops to the halfway line. And they look so competitive for 40 minutes. It was only 4-0 down. But the wheel has well and truly fallen off. And David, you've got information on the shuffle. Was Jerd off, Atkins on, and what's happened?
Well, that means that Brett Scott will go from fullback to 5/8 Rex with Atkins coming on to play the fullback role. Laurie will move to the second row. Don Price from second row up into front row. But the interesting thing, Atkins, of course, tonight, after a long stint with the Parramatta club, 257 matches, 130 in first grade. He retires at Penrith Park tonight in a fitting way that he goes out in the first grade side.
Yes, indeed. There was the man in question. Sterling kicking downfield. It's a spot-on kick. Absolutely delicious. And that landed about 3 metres in from the sideline and just went over the edge. Believe me, a great kick. Penrith are going to have nightmares about the last 21 minutes of this game. Well, the scrum not set, but it's set now. Delaney's got it for Penrith. Clements bulldozes his way up forward about 4 metres. Van der Voort, full of running. Simmons. Back to Ackery on the inside. They're working switches in the forwards now. Short passes. Delaney. Tanza. Pass back to Clements. Then back to Simmons. Well, that was forward, just marginally forward. A little bit of a punch-up going on here. Chalmers fancy himself a middleweight or a light heavyweight anyway. Was bound to take on one of the Penrith forwards. Was all froth and bubble, nothing in it. I think Chalmers even got a bit of a smile on his face. Have a look at this. Have a look at the forward pass. And the altercation started at that point.
Well, Tony Chalmers came in to tackle Ackery, and he certainly resented the elbow you'll see coming up here from Ackery. There it goes. Bang. And the winger thought, well, here we go, round 1.
Okay, we're back with the action here. Kenny's weaving a bit of magic up the middle. Got it to Ericsson, his centre partner, who's done very well for Parramatta this year as a centre. Setri. Had a top game tonight too. Mosley works the blind side. Away to Peter Wynn. Can't get his arms free. Just outside the quarter, about 5 metres. Sterling, one of the spectators in front of me, yelled out, "Get him!" I think you need an elephant gun to shoot him. Pass away to the man in question. Beautiful pass there. Kenny's on the fly and straight through and underneath the posts. That's a great bit of football. absolutely beautiful. That is what every coach is after. Somebody coming off somebody, and they've done it beautifully. See it again.
This is the sort of pass you expect Peter Sterling to work in tandem with Brett Kenny, but Sterling was the man that sends the first ball away. Now watch Brett Scott the way he just holds this ball up. He knows that Brett Kenny will always run into the gap and just be there when the pass is popped up. Beautiful football, and you can start to ask the questions, well, where was Brett Scott in the early part of 1987? He's certainly matured and played some great football late in the season for Parramatta. It might be the solution to some of the problems for John Mooney in 1988. That was a perfect football, as good as you'll see anybody set up, and Brett Kenny, well, he's the man who knows how to score them, but great football by the man, Brett Scott.
Yes, indeed. And Pearl's got a simpler kick. He's been on either side of the field. This time he's close in. And he raises the flags from 11 or 12 metres out and about 10 metres off centre. So the score hastens on. Parramatta 24, Penrith 0. Me tonight with the way his ability to get pace and sprint from dummy half. He did it again just then. His legs were going like little pistons. Here he is at dummy half. He won't attempt it this time. On to Peter Wynn. He turned his body to give the pass back on the inside, but was knocked over before he could do that. Sterling out to Scott. Out there to Laurie. Laurie gets it out to the wing three-quarter Pearl, but he was upended smartly. There's like the charge of the Light Brigade here. Robards has picked that up. He's going back upfield. I think they're going to pick him off very smartly. Here's Chalmers coming from behind and catches him. Gets it back inside to Clements. Clements does the little kick ahead. Oh, beautiful. No, it's not well handled by the fullback. And it's 6 to go. Parramatta still in trouble. Robards, Delaney, Simmons, Delaney back inside there to Houghton. Only about 3 metres out from the line. Clements, Robards charges there. It's finished up about 1.5 metres short. Parramatta defence is well set now. Well, they had the opportunity there. It came and it went. Simmons. That pass knocked back, knocked forward, knocked on, knocked everywhere, and Wynn tries to round it up. Gets sunk about 3 or 4 metres out from his goalposts. And a little bit of sanity coming into proceedings. The easy way out when the breeze is behind you at a gale force. And look what Sterling's faced him with. 78 yards, 79 yards to bring it all the way back. And some of the Penrith players aren't going to make the third ruck. They're still coming back onside. Well, there's one player took 3 rucks to get back onside. Delaney. Vitanza storming up the middle. Royce Simmons. That's Vandervoort. He's got to the halfway. Delaney. Good crunching tackle there. Kenny was the man that did it. Delaney kicks over the top. He's on the chase. He's kicked it again. Fielded by Atkins. Oh, he tried to straighten up and go around, but Roy Simmons was there ready for him and buried him. Ericsson coming on the burst there off a Don Price pass. Win. I'm sure he could give the ball a little bit more often than he does. Sterling, cut out pass. Ericsson coming back on the inside. Interesting here, they've got a... Well, that's been put through and it's been picked up by Sterling. He's like a flash of lightning the way he came on. That one's been picked up by Moss, the wing three-quarter. Delaney out to Houghton. Houghton's running very strong, very free, but he's picked off in good defence. About 6 metres out from the quarter. That pass was knocked backwards. The referee just signalled it. 6 to go, says the referee, Harrigan. We've got 13 minutes in this game, and the scoreline is a very embarrassing one of 24-0. desperate to get some points on the board. Comes on the burst and very nearly penetrates. Simmons, Tanza, cut out pass, 6 to go, out to Moss. Moss is going to score, is he? No, he's not. I think it's been disallowed. The referee's overruled the touch judge. The touch judge stood back behind the field of play, which is giving him a signal, but say it again.
Well, the touch judge, in fact, was not into the referee here. He would have been forced to wave him dead with the flag, but here he goes, grounds the ball, and the touch judge, in fact, was not into the referee there. Otherwise, he would have been waving him out. So, good try to Penrith, good hands there. They've been putting play together in the last 5 minutes or so, threatening, but on this occasion, they certainly had the numbers. John Cartwright, the man involved, and the long ball here, nearly being cut out, but good quick hands from Clements, although Chalmers again made great pace, showed great pace to nearly get to Moss, but he got the ball down cleanly and a good try to Penrith.
Well, the kick and goal's been taken by Bevan. It's not very good. It's not crossbar high. So the score now is Parramatta 24, Penrith 4. 24 to 4 is the scoreline. I'm delighted that Penrith have got on the board, but there's been a couple of changes, and David, you've got them.
Yes, Joe Vitanza and Cartwright from the pack, and Mark Bevan's come off from the centres. The replacement, the under-23 reserve grade, the under-23 fullback Darren Curry, who's a very versatile back, will go to the centres. Mark Carroll in 42 and big Mark Geyer will be coming on in number 22. So that's Carroll in 42, Geyer in 22, and Darren Curry in number 27.
Okay. Watching this Parramatta side do a surgical job on Penrith here today. There's a forward pass being thrown that the referee said not. Looked it to me. Simmons kicks. See the way the ball was held up in the breeze. Chalmers rounds it up. Win. Away to Scott. Well, that was a bad one. The ball's been lost everywhere there. It's play on by for Penrith to Ackery. Good pass out to Clements. Clements gets it away there to number 3 for the Penrith side. But it's been intercepted by Wynn on the inside. The pass was ill-advised. One-handed pass back there on the inside. Atkins playing his last game for Parramatta. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see the boys try to get him a try for his last game. Well, he's just finished off a very good gain of about 18 or 20 metres. Running diagonally. Sterling. Scott. Beautiful pass from Kenny. Out to Ericsson. Ericsson out to Pearl. Pearl showing good pace. Little rubber kick, and it's gone much too far. Much too far. The option was there for a little short kick, a centre kick, or an in and away.
But certainly didn't set himself here. He was carrying the ball on the wrong arm, not balancing himself properly on the ball. Well, not too far, just being put straight out over the touchline.
Yes, you expect a wing three-quarter of first-grade standard to have a little bit of usage of his feet. Sterling went from the base of that scrum and has hung up over the line virtually about 2 metres out. Atkins doing his best to score, 15. Using his physique now to try to force a passage. Wynn on the charge. Very close to going through. Mosley a dummy half. Good pass to Sterling. He wants to score on himself too. He did a complete pirouette then, Mosley. It's all very close here. Well, he's probably over if he can get it down. And the referee judges that he did. So that's something that he's been searching for all night, Peter Wynn. A very, very sustained performance of trying to get a try.
Well, he had the first one taken off him in the first half when he was penalised for a double movement. Just trying to gain that extra yard, but plenty of strength there, and he just took 3 Penrith defenders over the line with him. The defence of the Panthers inside their 22 especially hasn't been strong in the second half, but, well, a good reward for Peter Wynn for a strong display.
29 years of age, Peter Wynn, a school teacher, 28 points to 4. Probably considering retirement at some stage in the next year or two. Jeff Pearl, 2 from 6. I wouldn't take too much notice of those statistics because it's been a very, very difficult night for goal kickers. Pearl from the junction of the quarter and the 10-metre line. Well, he's got that one okay. That shows his quality. So, Parramatta 30, Penrith 4. Well, it's been somewhat of a slaughter here by the Parramatta side, particularly in the second half. 4-0 at half-time. Wynn was able to pick that off just before it went over the sideline. I think he's about 2 metres in from the sideline. Sterling. Laurie trying to force a passage. Simmons has got through a huge amount of tackling, as always. Don Price has done some smart things for the Parramatta side too. Mosley sprinting away. Comes back to about 4 metres from the halfway line. Sterling says, hell with this, we'll do it the easy way. Robards fields the kick about 5 metres from his goal line. Plenty of chases there. Mosley was one. Crowd really dwindled over the last 10 minutes since the avalanche of tries have started to come. I don't blame them. It is freezing cold. Clements, Delaney, a cutout pass. It's gone. He's been forced into touch. So it'll be a Parramatta scrum feed to get the ball underway. Sterling. They're trying to find some space out here. Ericsson's run right round in a big circle, got past. No, he hasn't. Clements has got him with a one-handed tackle that hung onto his jersey. About 5 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Wynn coming again. Sterling. Scott. Good acceleration back on the inside there. That's Ford. Sterling. Well, just got knocked as he tried to pass that football, but it was knocked by a Penrith player.
He certainly has laid everything on tonight for Parramatta, Peter Sterling, though. He was nearly creating another half chance there, and whilst the Winfield Cup is still up for grabs for the 5-team semi-finals, the individual awards are certainly just about to come upon us. Peter Sterling, the man favourite for possibly Dally M honours, Rothman's medal honours. A great display in a side well beaten in 87.
There's a Penrith change at this late stage, David.
Yes, Rod Robards has come off with what appears to be a broken nose, and the reserve grade fullback Brett Lobb in number 14 is his replacement.
Okay, Brett Lobb's got plenty of experience, but he's only got about under 5 minutes to do it in. Laurie weaving forward, Parramatta in the quarter. Penrith into the field now. Gets up and plays it forward. No marker. Only the tackler. He was left on the ground behind. You can see the strength of that wind by the The paper's growing along the fence there. Well, that's a rip-off. He's gone very close to scoring. There's been a knock on there, and Penrith have got possession, so that's a little bit of sloppy work by the Parramatta side. Chris Houghton. The Vandervoort. Royce Simmons comes away with a wholehearted scurry. Another Parramatta change, David?
Yes, Brian Jackson, the reserve grade 5'8", has come on to for Michael Erickson, a young fella this year that didn't expect to play a lot of first-grade football with Parramatta. Tonight was his 14th game, so he's ended the season in the top grade.
Well, young Moss there got the ball and came like a rocket diagonally back infield. Really quick. Well, Delaney's attempted to kick that and missed it. He was tackled just at the moment he kicked it, or he attempted to kick it, and the ball dropped to the ground. Win away to Ford. It's about 3 metres now out from the quarter line. Mosley caught by one leg. Wynn, Sterling, Scott. Laurie comes to grief. About a couple of minutes to go in this contest between Parramatta and Penrith. Sterling. Beautiful pass out to Chalmers. Oh, he's knocked Moss out of the way. Just get out of the way, I don't need you, sort of thing. There's a crossfield kick being put down by Sterling. Well, that'll be a knock-on. So the scrum's going to come back. It'll probably be the last scrum of the game, I would suggest. Parramatta players aren't terribly enthusiastic about getting there quickly. I think they want to ensure it's the last scrum. Delaney comes around the ruck. Houghton surges out to the quarter. That was a powerful run. Just beyond the quarter line was Delaney. Royce Simmons still showing plenty of pluck. The kick downfield. It's been fielded by Sterling, knocked backwards. He's lost a bit of ground in the move, but I think he realises that the game is just about over. Sentry, this kick, this penalty now will be taken by who? Well, Sterling's going to kick for touch on the popular side of the ground. $30 points to 4. There's the hooter. And up she goes. The kids come steaming onto the field. It goes too deep and it's over the back. So that's the way this game is going to end, with the Parramatta side soaring away to a marvellous win of 30 points to 4. Chalmers scored 2 tries, Pearl a try, Scott, Kenny and Wynn all scored tries. Goals 3 from 7 to Pearl, 30 points. The Penrith sole points came from Moss, a try scored about 10 minutes from the end of the second half. So that's it, 30 points to 4 here. Parramatta have beaten Penrith in the last round of the Winfield Cup.
87 Winfield Cup with a win, and the man of the match, Peter Sterling. Sterlo, no doubt you would love to be there next Saturday or Sunday.
Well, we certainly would. It's an unusual feeling for us not to be there, but I think on tonight's performance and the way we played through the year, we probably don't deserve to be there, so we can only blame ourselves.
Well, Sterlo, on behalf of the Daily Mirror, the Man of the Match award, $1,000 to ease the pain of not being there at the cricket ground at the weekend.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Daily Mirror and Channel 10 for such awards, but I really think it should have gone to Ron Woolley if he's going to come up here and coach in this every week.
Okay, thanks very much. Peter Sterling, our Daily Mirror Man of the Match, $1,000, and we'd like to thank the Daily Mirror for their continued support in 1987. Each week they've put up the $1,000 for that award. Ron, I think you and I deserve more, though, being on the touchline in this very, very inclement weather up here at Penrith.
As cold as a frog in an ice-bound pool.
What were your thoughts of the game? You've got a fair bit of work to do there with that Penrith side, if that was any indication tonight.
Yes, I was pleased that they didn't fall entirely apart. I thought they stuck out fairly well, and they did score the second last try of the match. Parramatta are one of those teams who have left their coming good to a little bit late, like North Sydney. I think if they were in the semi-finals, they could give a good account of themselves.
Okay, well, all the very best in season 1988 with the Penrith Panthers. Let's hope that it warms up a bit for you next year. I don't think you'll put up with this for too much.
Thanks very much.
Okay.